Welcome back to Coach Walk's Corner. Today I'm excited to start a new series, a three-part series of a very, very important question. So, for coaches, what are the key things players should understand before leaving your program? We obviously want them to be great athletes. We want them to be great technicians and understand the game. But what value do you bring to your players beyond? What are the things that they will take off the field that they will use for the rest of their lives? So this is an extremely important question. To start with, I want you to think about this. Whatever you talk about most is what your players will understand when they leave your program. Whatever you emphasize, whatever you write down, the things that you put on the posters, things that you put on the handouts, things that you put on the website, your core beliefs, those things won't matter if you're not emphasizing it all the time. It has to be a part of your daily language, like every part of your program. The things that you talk about most, the things that you're constantly thinking about, questioning them about, is what they'll get. Repetition creates memories. Repetition creates mastery. Um, technically, it's great repetition when you do things right. But in terms of a player understanding something and learning something, you want to communicate it so much where they can't help but memorize. They can't. It can't help but seep into who they are. That's what we're looking for. That's the main thing I want you to get out of this three-part series. But I'll give you my top things that I want players to understand. So let's get it. First one. I want players to understand you got a choice, courage or coward. Courage or coward. It's only courage if fear is present. The coward uses the fear as an excuse, but courage moves even though there's fear. So here's a reality. I think players, young people, they think maybe they're the only person that's uncertain, maybe having anxiety, they're unsure, they're scared, they're fearful, they have fear of failure in different situations. We all have that experience, those feelings at different times. I think oftentimes players, especially young men, they think they're the only one who has those feelings because bravado. Young men are typically very we cover those things up. But I need them to understand that we all have those uncertainty. And so fear is always present. It's going to be present in our lives at some point. And so the coward uses the fear as an excuse to not act, to not do what they want to do, to not say what they want to say, to not ask that question, to not raise their hand, to not approach um, that attractive young woman or that attractive young man. It's the fear, the coward keeps us from moving, but courage moves even though there's fear. So that's what I want. I want them to be brave. I want them to be courageous. I want them to understand that the feeling of fear is real, but you can always act in opposition to how you feel. Okay. And a courageous person moves even though there is fear. So there's always this choice with every decision. When you feel that degree of uncertainty, courage or coward. Okay, the second thing I want them to understand, attitude of gratitude. There's power in the attitude of gratitude. And here's the aspect that most people don't get. When you fail to express gratitude, you communicate ingratitude. So when that person, when that parent does something for you, when they make that special meal, when they give you that ride to school when you miss the bus, um, when someone holds the door for you, it may be something that you didn't even ask for. But when you fail to express gratitude, when you fail to say thank you, when you fail to express your appreciation, you actually communicate ingratitude. So even though that's not what you're trying to communicate, I think most people are not trying to communicate ingratitude, but because it was too much to say thank you, the person who actually did something for you, for them, they're thinking like, man, like you can't even say thank you. Like, like what I did doesn't even matter to you. It's just inconsequential. And so there's this feeling that this person has that, man, this person is just ingrateful. The attitude of gratitude is powerful because when we understand how this works, it gives us more incentive to always say thank you. You know, regardless of whether we ask for help or whatever someone has done, we always want to. We don't want to communicate ingratitude, so we always communicate and express gratitude. We say thank you, man. I appreciate you doing that. Um, and there's power in that. There's power in building relationships. There's power in, especially as we can get young people to do that, to express gratitude to each other. I think young people have kind of learned that, yeah, you say thank you to adults because we ingrain that to our kids. But expressing gratitude to your teammates is extremely powerful. The attitude of gratitude, when you fail to express gratitude, you communicate ingratitude. It's not what you want, so always say thank you. And the third point for the day is commitment over comfort. Okay? Your feelings are the enemies of your dreams. That every goal, every benchmark, every commitment that you have, at some point, there's going to be an emotion or feeling that will work in opposition to that goal. So make it concrete. You want to be a bencher of 300 pounds. You know, you want to be very strong. But guess what? You're not going to be motivated to go do every workout. That's just unrealistic. And so if we live in our feelings, if we only act and behave according to how we feel, guess what? That feeling of unmotivation, I'm tired, that feeling just became an enemy to that dream of being a 300-pound bencher, being an all-state player, being, on an honor roll, whatever it may be. See, you have to choose commitment over comfort. I mean, this is such a powerful principle right here. This is the one where I feel like every program should be teaching their players, every parent should be teaching their children that your feelings are not behaviors. You do not have to act in line with the way you feel. See, I have a couple sons, teenage boys, and there may be times where I am angry and frustrated at them, okay, for whatever reason. I may feel that way. That doesn't mean I have to lash out in anger. I actually can act in kindness towards my sons, even though I may be angry at them, or maybe angry at something in my job. That doesn't mean because it was a bad day at work that now when I come home, I can act with generosity and kindness and care and be a comfort to other people. See, I can always act in opposition to the way that I feel. See, my commitment to those relationships demands that I not act the way that I feel, but I act according to a way that according to the commitment that I have to my family, one that I have a great relationships with my family. So this is a powerful one. Choose commitment over comfort. Your feelings are enemies of your dreams. You don't live by your feelings. You live by your commitments. So those are my 3 points for the day in part one. Courage or coward. There's going to be fear. Coward uses fear as an excuse. Courage moves in spite of that fear. Attitude of gratitude. When we feel express gratitude, we actually communicate ingratitude. So we always say thank you. And then commitment over comfort. Our feelings are the enemies to our dreams, so we don't act the way we feel. We act according to our commitments and our goals. So for me, those are 3. And if I want the players to get it, I got to talk about it and emphasize it over and over and over. I have to find ways to communicate those buzzwords, to bring those buzzwords to life. I have to find ways to see situations that are happening in our program daily to talk about commitment over comfort. Great job choosing your commitment over your comfort. Man, I appreciate you saying thank you. Because the attitude of gratitude, like I have to find a way to communicate that all the time, and our players will begin to understand it before they leave the program.